to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss.
Pacers were going to make the playoffs. It didn't end so well for you, brother.
If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool.
You fell asleep at the trade deadline when we had a trade to get Kyle Lowry out of here.
They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me keep on running toes. They gonna take
this is what we got to tell.
Every fan doing this.
I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I pay for the cost. I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I'm paying the cost. I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Let's go. Welcome to Refuse to Lose Sports. My name is Joe Jordan. We have a great episode for y'all today. Listen, man, we got to dip into some NBA. All-Star Weekend just happened. And there's a lot of NFL news going on, even though NFL season is over. But let me let y'all know what we're going to talk about before I bring up my two brothers and introduce y'all to them. First off, the NBA All-Star Game, like I said, they got a new format all throughout the whole weekend. Should they stick to the new format? We're going to talk about that. How excited was it this weekend? Right? T. Higgins, the Bengals announced that, well, they didn't announce. There was, reporters announced that the Bengals will be franchise tagging T. Higgins. We got to that because that's the second season in a row. Is that a big thing or not? We got to talk about that, right? Nolan Smith, he got some smoke. He a Super Bowl champion, but he for the high mighty, he got some smoke for Emmanuel Acho from the facility. I know Tomo got a lot to say about that. We got to address that. And lastly, we got my boy Davey Dollars in the middle. He going to bring the doghouse to the big house, all right? To the R2L show. But look, like I said, I got two of my bros with me. Like I said, Davey Dollars, he's the host, he's the owner, right, of Dave's Doghouse. Make sure y'all go check out his last episode. And he's going to introduce us on the show. And like I said, once again, we got him right here in the middle. And we got Mr. Your son himself, Tomo, co-host of In the Red Corner. How y'all doing, fellas?
Man, y'all probably wondering why I got these shades on.
Yeah.
Been getting kicked in the back all week by these Eagle fans, man. Been hating on me, man. Sheesh, all I said was in the regular season, guys. Golly. I'm glad I didn't get no black eyes. The fetal position. I saved myself. Man, should have never gave them nothing nice. Other than that, man, I'm happy to be back, man. R2L. Shout out to everybody in the comments, man. Keep them coming, man. I love where the network is going. I love where the show is going. 1,500. 1,500. How y'all?
I'm doing great. Can't wait to talk about all the topics that we had to talk about today. T. Higgins, man. They keep disrespecting you, my boy. I mean, you with the Bengals, though, so you should have known that was going to happen when you got drafted there. So, I mean, sorry. Braun, Ant. Why weren't y'all in the All-Star game, man? I mean, what happened? I don't know. Tyler Hero, 3-point champ, Something Trae Young couldn't do,
Trae Young would never.
So, walked away with that. But man, it doesn't look like the NBA All-Star Weekend is gonna come out of the doghouse anytime soon. So I don't think I need to talk about that.
Dang.
But I mean, either way, it was a great weekend that we had. We got to laugh at some of the stuff that happened in there. Draymond falling in the skills challenge. We had that. Wemby and CB3 cheating. Getting disqualified. But guess what? They had fun. We're gonna have fun today. So let's turn up.
Turn me up.
Jody, do your thing.
All right, y'all. We are streaming this on 3 different platforms: Facebook, YouTube, and X. So make sure y'all like this video on all 3 platforms. Make sure you follow and subscribe on all of our social media platforms. You can follow us everywhere at Refuse to Lose Sports, but on X at R2L Sports. And share this video with somebody that you know or anybody, this link, so they go watch this show live with you and be involved in the show by being in the comment section. We can see all the comments y'all will be putting out throughout the show, and we respond to comments. And last but not least, enjoy the rest of the show. Tomo, floor is yours.
Man, and just like that, should I say the floor is mine? Because I don't know what was up with that All-Star floor. Like, I understand y'all trying to do some things. I guess that was the in-season tournament type of style they had with the floor. But again, we have another NBA All-Star weekend that came and went. We've seen a new format. We've seen it on Friday night, which started with the Rising Stars / G League teams. And shout out to Joe. You called it. Then we roll over into Saturday. We already know what happens there with the main event was a 3-point contest. Shout out to Tyler Hero for making Miami Heat proud. But also we get to the main event where a lot of people didn't really show up, or did they? Because they said LeBron showed up and then was like, yeah, y'all kind of wondering why I got on street clothes. Yeah, y'all won't see me play today. So are you retiring now? Because you might as well just say that. But a lot of people had a lot of questions. A lot of people had a lot to say while they were up on the podium for TNT, which was Draymond. But again, if you don't know, go check it out. He had a lot to say about the game format. So us on Refuse to Lose, me and Joe did it on Friday, and we talked about it. Dave was in the comments, and he was also saying, Joe, correct me if I'm right or wrong here, Dave. You agree with the format too, that you like it? The new format. No. Oh, okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure because just wanted to make sure. I know you picked a winner. That's why. So the question is, should the NBA stick with this new format? Joe?
All right, man. So I do think the format helped. All right. It helped to make it more competitive. I do agree. We talked about that. We said think about it. The OGs versus the Rising Stars was a more competitive game than the OGs versus the global team. Think about that. All right. So it did bring some competitiveness because it's like, yo, we can't let these youngins beat us. There was some defense being played. KD got fouled. He complained. I never seen him play in the All-Star game. So there was some competitiveness in it. But do I think they should keep it like this? No. This is how I think it should be. Let's go back to normal, man. For real. Let's go back to normal. And people like Draymond Green complaining, y'all the problem. You can't get mad. I know, shout out to Mike. Mike in the chat, Mike be on the show, Boston fan. He said we need a new commissioner, but I think overall he ended up agreeing with me and Carl. But he said we need a new commissioner. They doing all these tournaments. Because they put a post that somebody said he doing all these tourneys. I'm like, he trying to make y'all be more competitive. The play-in. A lot more teams are competitive now. Teams don't really start tanking when they realize they're in the AC. Now they can try to get in the playoff, they compete. The NCAA tournament. Yeah, we watch the NCAA tournament. You can see the intensity between the end season versus the regular season. You can see the difference. And now this, like I said, the game was closer with the Rising Stars than it was with the global team. So go back to rookies versus sophomores. Let's do that, please. Rookies versus sophomores. There's pride in that. I don't think there was ever an issue with the rookie and sophomore game. I don't know why we switched that up. I get it. Guys in the G League, it's a development league for a reason. Let them earn their right to be in these games. Stop throwing them in there. Let it be the rookies versus the sophomores. That's number one. Skills challenge, right? Only change I'll make on the skill challenge, because after what Wimmy did, they got to at least make one shot. They got to at least make one shot. Have them little ball boys, when they shoot them, add the ball to the rack, just in case they can shoot on the balls. And just in case Draymond Green not over the whole rack. But in this case, right, have somebody to put the balls on the rack. But I will say this. I like the fact that I'm going to say real quick. I don't in this like it. I like the fact that Wemby did what he did somewhat because he tried to win. I like the competitiveness of him. They even said Michael Jordan used to cheat with old ladies. He'll play cards with old ladies to be cheating because he's trying to win. But I don't like cheating, though. You got to realize at the end of the day, yeah, you want to win the skill challenge, but the whole purpose of you being there is to entertain the crowd. Keep that in mind. So them not just throwing the ball, I ain't like that part. But I like his intentions of winning the game. They did say he went around the whole arena and said, do we have to shoot? And they all said, do you have to make them? No, you don't have to make them. You don't have to shoot it for real. And then Draymond even contested that. He said, "Yeah, I saw him do it. He's asking the wrong people." Just that 3-point shootout. Nothing I would change there. One thing I like about 3-point shootout: stars actually come up and show up. This was just a bad shooting year. Normally 3-point shootout lit, so everybody complaining. Relax. 3-point shootout is gonna be good. Superstars. I don't know why K was in there. Sorry, Carl. Should have put your boy Mike Beasley in there. I think Carl agreed with that. I think he should have put Mike Beasley in there. But anyways, dunk contest. I mean, what the NBA gonna do? It's the players. Everybody can say, I don't want to see Matt McClung. I mean, you rather see somebody else right now? Like, throw them in there until somebody show up. And then when somebody do want to show up, throw them back in there. Let them beat Matt McClung. So I ain't got nothing to say about it. In the All-Star game, the last time it was competitive was when Kobe died. Y'all remember when Kobe died and they won 24 on that stuff, and then MB hit LeBron with the, it was a very competitive game. I think they should go back to East versus West, right? And it is what it is. If they don't want to be competitive, they don't want to be competitive. But what I don't want is 30 minutes of basketball and 2 hours of Kevin Hart, Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck. Bro, I don't know why, like, Kevin Hart, you a legend, but it's dried up now, bro. I'm sorry, like, I wasn't laughing the whole time. I wasn't. Like, he's funny at times, but it's like it was too much of him. I didn't come here to watch Kevin Hart. It was a Kevin Hart stand-up. It was an NBA All-Star game. Even SGA was like, bro, shut up. Bruh, throw the ball in. Can we start the game? And what I think one thing that they should change with the All-Star game, treat it like the Super Bowl. Make the halftime show important. Give the halftime show to a very popular artist and sell that up to the All-Star game. Like, if I'm the NBA, once I saw Kendrick's going to be in the Super Bowl, I would have had Dre do the All-Star game. Dead serious. People would have watched that. So look at Tomo like that. Hey, look, to take a personal reasons out of this, all right?
No. I didn't even think. My mind didn't even go there to say bring him. So that would have been funny.
Blaze, come on, man. That man talking about you like a porn star recorder, whatever. I'm like, bro, I got my 5-year-old watching it. Daddy, what's up? Don't worry about it, cuz. Don't worry about it, son. Don't worry about it. All right.
Corn star.
Corn star. My whole thing is go back to the regular format and sell the halftime show of the All-Star game. Make that a big deal. So those are my 50 cents of the All-Star game.
Man, look. Joe took the words out of my mouth. What was Kevin Hart there for? What was he there for? This is the entire breakdown of what happened for the All-Star weekend. The intro was 30 minutes long.
Oh my gosh.
30 minutes for the intro. Pre-game talk was 10 minutes. All right, 10 minutes ain't too bad. That's cool. It's 10 minutes. Game 1, 12 minutes. The Mr. Beast challenge, 5 minutes. Game 2, 16 minutes. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Music performance, 6 minutes. Then another 9 minutes for the Inside the NBA tribute. They act like the guys died. They just go to another. They go to another network. That's it. That's it. Then game 3, last game, 14 minutes long. Post game was 6 minutes. Then the annual segment was 22 minutes. The ads, the commercials total was 80 minutes. Why? What was for what? This wasn't Super Bowl Sunday. That's when all the commercials come out of Super Bowl Sunday. Is the NBA really trying to compete with the NFL? Look, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Look, some of the Super Bowl commercials weren't even that good this year. What we normally see. We normally see some eye-popping commercials that make us like, all right, I want to go see that. I want to go see that. Ooh, that might be interesting. It wasn't like that this year. They had Martha Stewart doing a dance for one of the Super Bowl commercials. Like, who cares about that? Another thing. I feel like we say this every single year. Why do we have random basketball players in the dunk contest? Why? Mac McClung has just won 3 years straight. This is not to say that he's not a great dunker, because he is. I watched him when he was in high school, and even when he got accepted to go to Georgetown. I know what he is as a high flyer. But this is supposed to be a stage for stars. It's called All-Star Weekend. John Morant, you're saying that you might possibly do it. I don't believe it until you do it. Because you know who else said something like that? LeBron James said that in 2010 and said that he was going to do it, and he never even entered his name into the contest. He lied. So, and this is not me picking on LeBron James. This is just an example of that. It's someone who's a star who said, yes, I'm sure about that. This is someone who said that they was going to do something and they never did it. Jaren Jackson, what's up with basketball NBA players? And when they talk to Taylor Rooks, whenever they talk to her, they just start spilling out stuff.
Accusation, false accusation.
You had Jaylen Brown saying that he was going to win 5-6 championships by the time he's in the league for like 7-8 years. He got one. Now I get it; it's the most recent one, but he got one. Then Jaren Jackson Jr. said he's gonna play full court. He ain't played full court defense in that All-Star game. Come on, man.
Let him cook.
Stop with these lies. Just stop. We need stars to actually come out and play like it means something to them. That's what it is. I think that NBA players only care about money nowadays. They only care about money. They only care about their health. And it's fine to care about your health and care about your money. I get that. But you know that the All-Star Weekend is to put entertainment on the floor for the fans. Us as if you got people like Draymond Green, who he ain't gonna be someone that we care watching the All-Star game for, or even the skills challenge. I think you know what? I have a problem with the skills challenge. Put somebody with actual skills on the floor, please. Draymond Green don't belong in there. I'm sorry. He don't belong in there. Put someone out there that all right, yeah, I can see that. SGA, he got skills. Luka got skills. Come on now. Trey Young got skills. Like we got guys out there that got skills. Put them out there. Make it seem like something that all right, we want to see who actually got the best. Kyrie Irving got skills. Kyrie Irving is probably the most skilled basketball player in the league, especially when it comes to handles. Nobody got handles like him. So we need to do that. And then the All-Star game, like you said, they got to play some defense. Like, put some effort into it. Like Joe said, the last time they played series is when Kobe died. And I get it. It's because of Kobe. Kobe came in with that mentality like, I don't care who you are. You're going to come here and complete as long as I'm playing. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take one player to go in and just say, you know what? We're going to compete one-on-one. Because I forgot. I think it was the rookie sophomore game a couple years back, and it was one player had decided to go play defense, and then someone else started playing defense. Why can't the NBA stars do that? I got an issue with something else, but that's gonna come up later on the show. Go ahead, Tomo.
I don't really know what I can say after that, man. Y'all kind of said everything. I liked it. I mean, I like the new format. I mean, outside of like you said, it being almost the same time as the Super Bowl, because again, the intro is taking 30 minutes. The Kevin Hart stand-up moments, like, okay, we understand. And again, they pull Kevin Hart in because they think he's a fan favorite. All right, cool. But the tribute, for real, for me, to Shaq, Ernie, Kenny, and Charles, that was it was good, but it was also like, come on, guys, you could have did better than that. Like, this is their last one. Like, the fact that the game was kind of almost entertaining, I forgot that this was TNT's. I forgot that this is their last run. This is their last All-Star game. And it's like, this is how you send them off. Like, the gone fishing thing, like, that's funny. That was cool. But it should have been a bigger moment about them versus it seemed like it was a bigger moment about Kevin Hart being there. And that's what it felt like. Now, them in the halftime show, again, it's in the Bay, so I understand them getting the artists that they got, so that makes sense to me. But with the format, we just watched the ladies of the WNBA start their own league with Unrivaled, and we seen how they were playing one-on-one. Now, granted, I seen a clip going around where I think it was Rachel Nichols was asking certain players backstage or behind as they were coming out the locker room saying, hey, would y'all play a one-on-one game? And the one person you brought up, Dave, Kyrie, was like, yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with ego. I think it'll bring back that essence of people playing one-on-one, because they do it when they go to Team USA. They say they have one-on-ones all the time. They play King of the Court all the time. A viral clip just went out about them playing King of the Court. Now, if you want to do a tournament style like this, Go to Unraveled. They literally did a tournament style, and it was literally buckets. Now, some people, the defense would get to you, but it was buckets, and they were playing, and it was all love after that. There should be no ego involved. When it comes down to that actual game on Sunday, Team Shaq versus Team Chuck, that was the All-Star game that we're used to. That was the All-Star game that we're used to. The youngins actually made them play. Kyrie was playing defense. So we can go back to Kyrie was playing defense from when he stepped on the court. He was like, well, I'm technically filling in for somebody, so let me show y'all that I can play some defense. And he was doing it. They were complaining about calls. I'm like, this is the game that we actually want. A lot of people saying, why are they going to 40? I'm like, do you want them to go anything more? Because if they lollygag, we'll be here all night waiting for game 1 to be over with. Because technically, game 3 should have been over as soon as it started. The way Team Chuck was playing. We can say what we want to say about the slam dunk contest. We already know what that is. For me, go back to the skills challenge. I'm with you, Joe, East versus West. I know they tried to do the balance thing out because more stars started to go out to the West, or it was more stars in the East, and they were trying to find a way to balance it. But that's the competitive nature. If they think they have everybody over there that can beat us, then let's go out there and show them that we can still win. That's what is missing. Now, Drake performing at halftime, that probably would have blew the arena up. I'm not gonna lie. But again, they know they can't compete with the NFL. The NFL is different. It's just a different breed. Actually, the NFL is so different that the NFL players actually love playing flag football. They actually participate in the flag football game harder than they play basketball. I know a lot of people don't watch the Pro Bowl, but I'm just saying, I've seen them take that game more serious than how these NBA players take their All-Star game.
See, NBA compete with the NFL, and that's why they got their trade deadline where they got their trade deadline. They got their trade deadline in the middle of Super Bowl week, bro. They know what they're doing. Steve Kerr said, we should move it to the All-Star break. For what? No. That's the time to focus on the All-Stars. That's no trades. We're going to use this moment to interrupt the Super Bowl. Think about it. When the Super Bowl announced their artists, who they going to perform, then the NBA should announce their All-Star artists right after that. Because that performance is right after the Super Bowl, bro. And back to your Taylor Rooks comment, Dave. What you need to do is sit down with Ja, Zion, and his ass play that. Y'all gonna be in the dunk contest? Just do that. Have her do that. Get the best dunkers and have her ask them to be in the dunk contest. Well, I would love to see the dunk contest. Will you be in the dunk contest? They'll be like, yeah, I'll be there. If we have more,
they're not gonna show up. What you mean, Joe? Joe, come on. That's not gonna make sense.
You're right.
They're not gonna show up.
Right?
There you go. There you go.
Now, before we move on, I can see Ja doing one of these.
Shout out to go ahead.
I might jump out the kid. Y'all want to see me dunk? I might jump out the kid. They ain't never seen that. The way they be capping, they might be like, I'm gonna jump out the back seat of the Rolls Royce and dunk it. Watch what I do.
Facts.
Well, I can hear Reggie Miller. Oh, where is he? I can't see him. Oh my God, he's doing the kid. Oh my gosh. Reggie Miller.
I'm telling you, Matt McClung done did everything. These guys got to they got to come up with something very creative at this point, man.
You're at the air. You said, man, you put somebody under the rim. And when we do that, then I'll do that contest. Who gonna dunk on who? But I'm not creative. That's what he said. I'm like, all right, bro.
I mean, him and Ja could go back and forth with that. That'd be interesting. Another player too. Before we move on, Wemby took it personal. If you heard the sound bites, he said, "I'm running. I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm young. I'm running."
Him and Giannis, bro. Giannis, that's why I was gonna remember we did an episode. I put global, and I said, "Oh, Giannis not playing because Giannis play hard every time."
I mean, he did call James Harden out. That's all I'm saying. He said, "I don't want him because they don't play no defense."
That's crazy. He picked Kevin Walker.
Giannis might need to be T. Higgins' agent because Giannis like, I ain't playing all that tag stuff. We ain't doing all that. Y'all want to play tag? It look like he about to play freeze tag with the NFL because the Bengals is playing around, right? They want to play around with their number 2 receiver who could be a number 1 on any team. It's kind of funny because I think they almost did the same thing with Tyler Boyd, and he said, "You know what? I'm out. I ain't got time for this. I see where this is going. You already paid the quarterback. Now it's time to pay Chase, and I'm in the middle of y'all trying to pay Chase too." So it's come out that the Bengals are planning to put another franchise tag on wide receiver T. Higgins, and going off of what Davey Schefter put in the NFL chat, I think the second tag is worth about 26 M's. So Davey Schefter, How you feel about T. Higgins getting his second tag?
Ask for a trade. They give you a tag. Ask for a trade. They don't value you. Plain and simple. They don't value you. If they valued you, they would give you a long-term contract. They wouldn't even talk about a franchise tag. They're trying to hold you hostage and make you stay without a long-term contract because they don't believe that you are who you really are. They don't believe that your impact is important. They clearly don't watch the game. That owner does not care about paying players. You look at the history of the Cincinnati Bengals. You tell me one player other than Joe Burrow that they paid that supposed to have gotten paid. Don't worry, I'll wait. They don't have a history of that.
You don't want me, man.
This is, people talk about like the Panthers, the Jets, and all these other teams. No one talks about the Bengals not paying nobody. This is also one of the worst ran franchises in the league. Yes, they got to the Super Bowl a couple seasons ago because they got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. And Tyler Boyd was also on that team along with Joe Mixon. Two of those players are now gone. Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, gone. Also, they had some defensive players that were also there too. Jesse Bates, gone. He in Atlanta now. He gone. But you know what? You know who else is on the horizon? That I know this is about T. Higgins, but Trey Hendrickson is another person in that defense. He gonna have to get paid soon. They gonna do the same thing to him. They're gonna franchise tag him. Look at the situation they're going through with Jamar Chase. They didn't even give him his contract yet. He said, I should be the highest paid player other than the quarterback in the league. And he proved that. Last season, he got the Triple Crown. There's conversations about him being the best wide receiver in the league. He got the Triple Crown, so he deserves to be in the conversation. People still might say Jettis. I'm one of those guys. Some people might say Tyreek Hill. I'm not one of those guys. I'm putting Jamar Chase ahead of him. But Jamar Chase still hasn't gotten his contract yet. And T. Higgins is like, look, I want to be here, but I want a long-term contract. He's telling you that he wants to play for your franchise. He wants to play with Joe Burrow. He wants to play with Jamar Chase. But you're being selfish by not giving him the contract he deserves. You saw the impact that he made in your team when he wasn't there. When he's hurt, your team ain't the same with just Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Your tight end isn't a Mark Andrews. He isn't a Travis Kelce. He's not a George Kittle. He's not a Dallas Goedert. He's not one of those kind of tight ends. He's serviceable. Don't get me wrong. He's serviceable, but he's not a game-changing tight end. So you don't have that on your roster. You have Chase Brown as your running back. He's good. Don't get me wrong. But we saw the difference that Joe Mixon made when he went to the Texans this year. So what are you going to do? Are you going to give him his contract that he rightfully deserves, or you're going to continue to create friction between you and T. Higgins? T. Higgins, look, I'm telling you this right now. I'm not an NFL player. I've never been a pro player in any sport, but being in a situation like that where you feel like ownership doesn't value you, go somewhere else. Ask for a trade. If they're only going to give you a franchise tag, which is $26 million, then don't get me wrong, $26 million is a lot of money. It is. But you know your value. Your value is not worth just $26 million for a 1-year contract. And then you might get tagged again the next year. And then tagged again. Go somewhere else. If they're not going to give you a long-term contract, go somewhere else. Go somewhere where you value. There are other teams that will pay you a long-term contract. You got the Patriots that's out there. They got a lot of money. You got the Commanders out there. They got a lot of money. And they got a quarterback that just went to the NFC Championship game in his first season in the NFL. You got that. There are plenty of other teams out there that will spend money to get you there. You got the Ravens, who's right in the same division as them. They will give you some money. They just paid Lamar Jackson. They went and signed Derrick Henry. They'll pay you some money. Go where you're valued. Don't go where they think you'll be okay for you.
To bring me my money.
All right, so 26 M's is a lot of money. We can say that. But how much is your value? How much are you worth? How much do you feel like you're worth? What about the dedication and sweat that you bring to the team? Because remember, the clip went out, I guess, when he was injured. You know, they was going to training camp and they would run up the hill if they healthy. So that right there lets you know that you have some stock equity and sweat equity with this team, right? The fact that the Bengals remind me so much of a team that gets so much media coverage, but they don't get the blame when they don't do the right thing. Because imagine if the Cowboys would have let CeeDee Lamb get tagged twice. I don't even think there would have been Super Bowl coverage the amount of times that we would have talked about how bad the Cowboys was and what they did with this. But again, it always finds a way for this team to be brought up is the Cowboys because the Bengals have everything they need. They have their franchise quarterback. You have your franchise wide receiver. You found your franchise pass rusher right there. So you have the pillars of the foundation. And it's funny that we was just having a conversation about it in the NFL chat again about how the Bengals offensive line was so bad that the defense was good, and now the defense is so bad that the offense is there. So now imagine if you take away another weapon that's needed. Now, granted, Chase Brown ain't no slouch. That is, they did find a way to make up there with the running backs. But again, you take away another weapon. Now you got Jamar Chase out there getting triple teamed, and who else you gonna throw the ball to? Because you let Tyler Boyd walk. So again, I thought Higgins was the replacement for Boyd. So now you got the 1-2 punch there. Again, I'm going with Dave too about your tight ends. So you're taking away weapons from your quarterback who's going to need them, and the rapport is there. A player comes out and say, "I want to be here." That should make life 10 times easier for any franchise. And this is why the NFL and some GMs won't say it, but this is why Howie is as good as he is. Because they don't even have to say they want to be an Eagle. You just walk up and be like, "Look, man, you got 3 years left. I got 15 for you right now." And they sign. They be like 15 right now, and then they get 26 on the back end. All their players is locked up. This is why they talking about their team about to be a dynasty, because all their players is young and locked up. This is what you do. You don't wait to the last minute. This is a big gripe with Jerry Jones. You keep waiting to the last minute. And now players who weren't worth anything, okay, the 49ers too, but players who weren't worth as the amount of money that you could have offered them when you first got them, you wait till they become all pros and they start leading in statistical categories. And now you're like, well, we can't pay you. Well, when I was getting 500 yards and 6 touchdowns, you should have came to the table. Now I'm an all pro. I got 1,300 yards and 18 touchdowns. What you think I'm gonna want? So yeah, I don't like it. I'm with you, Dave. I would demand a trade.
All right. So I look at it a little differently. First of all, Dave, you funny. They said your owner must not watch you play football. And look, by the way, they tight end got the best gritty in the NFL. By the way, shout out to Gasecki.
That's cap.
But I'm looking at it different, y'all. So look, I'm looking at what happened. Okay, last year they tagged T. Higgins. I looked at it like, okay, cool. What y'all doing? All right, tag T. Higgins. They had no conversations of an extension, and so that happened. Last year he had his agent was David Mulligetta, who was the same agent as Jordan Love, who got him paid. Calvin Ridley, who got paid. Michael Parsons, who about to get paid. And the cash cow himself, Deshaun Watson. So you would figure that he'll get a deal. But guess what? This same agent that he had before has never had a Bengals person as his client and got an extension with the Bengals. So the last person he had, you mentioned him, Dave, Jesse Bates was there. Jesse Bates was a key part of that Super Bowl run. I always tell you that defense carried Joe Burrow there. And Jesse Bates is a big part of that. Shout out to Carl for mentioning that on R2L before the playoffs started. Jesse Bates is going to be a big part of that. And he walked. He went to a different team, went to Atlanta. Atlanta doing pretty good defensively. So what he do? He fired him. He fired the agent. I'm like, okay, he fired the agent. Okay, that means he might want to stay with the, Joe Burrow. All year, what Joe Burrow say, y'all? Keep T. Higgins. All year. Keep T. Higgins. Joe Burrow is your franchise quarterback. So last thing you want to do is what? Piss off your franchise quarterback. Last thing you want to do. If he say keep T, what Dak say? You gotta pay Zeke. What Jerry do? He pays Zeke. Ain't that right, Tomo? He ain't pay
Dak was
Amari
tripping.
though.
Dak was tripping on that one. I'm gonna let you finish. Dak was tripping. Dak should have got his money first. I don't know why. He a good guy. He's a
He
good
also
guy.
he also said pay Amari, but I don't think he paid Amari. Did he pay Amari?
He paid him.
My man, there it is. It's your franchise QB. He said, no, you're gonna keep. We need T and Jamar here. So what he do? T goes out and get a new agent, right? Rocky Arsino. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Which is the same agent as Jamar Chase. Okay, cool. We going somewhere. There have been some talks of a potential extension. It's the reason why that they're going to franchise tag him, because Jamar Chase is up next. They got to make sure they take care of Jamar Chase first. T. Higgins is a free agent, literally. So they have to franchise tag him. Jamar Chase has another year on his belt, so they could extend the talks a little longer than usual, right? So I do believe there are some good signs that says that the Bengals are going to sign T. Higgins, because Joe Burrow had voiced it. Jamar Chase has voiced it also. Jamar Chase put himself on the line and went out and had a triple crown. They're going to pay Jamar Chase. I think we all know that. If they don't pay Jamar Chase, this guy here. I don't know what to say.
You didn't even want to say it.
Right? So we all believe they're going to pay Jamar Chase, but before they pay T, they got to pay Jamar. And lastly, Trey Hendrickson. Yes, he's due for a contract. I think he has 1 more year left. He has 1 more year left on his contract. So he might hold out, right? Or he might have to get traded. One of the two, right? If I'm the Bengals, I might let him go. I might trade him, tell you the truth. Because he had a season he had last year. And they still were one of the worst defenses in the league. So, You said what, Dave?
That's not on him.
No, it's not. My whole point is you still had a bad defense with the production you had, and why pay him more money what gives you less money to build around the defense? And you got to pay T, and you got to pay Jamar. So my thing is, I'm going to pay Jamar, I'm going to pay T, I'm going to trade Trey, Trey, and get something back for him and build around the defense through the draft, and etc. Because with him, you're literally gonna be in a straitjacket. You're gonna have 4 guys, high paid under your cap, which is not worth it. So I'll be willing to walk away. Not yet, you're almost there. I'll be willing to walk away with Trey and keep T, because when I look at the Eagles, forget the Eagles. Now, the Eagles got Devontae and AJ Brown. They kept them together. But Howie was smart, like Tomo said. He got them paid early. Now, you look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow looked a little different when I traded T. Higgins this year. I know that, right? Little bit different. When they played that Patriots team, he ain't had T. Higgins. Mm-hmm. So you want to keep them two together because Joe Burrow's production is different when both of them are on the field. Trey Hendrickson, him on or off, they were still bad, bro. That's all I'm saying. They still bad. So I'm willing to walk with him and keep T. But I think signs I pointed to, and Trey is 30 years old. I'm not saying his career is over, because I think he'll go somewhere, like maybe us, I don't know, and be dominant. But I'm willing to part ways with him or whatnot. No, it ain't nothing to do with us, Dave. But but he's 30 years old though. So I think signs are pointing to them signing T. Higgins though. That's why I'm not tripping on this franchise tag for them.
The franchise history is why I'm tripping on
the history.
Yeah. That's the only reason why.
And that's the same thing with me. The history says otherwise.
I'm with you on that.
And like you said, Jamar Chase doesn't have his contract yet, and they had an issue. They had issue with him last year when he was asking for his contract. So that's what I'm going based off recency and based off history.
I'm with you. Guilty until proven innocent with them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Then you don't pay him, and now he get triple crown. Now you really gotta pay him. But also, like I think they said it on Hard Knocks, the owner of the Browns is the brother who started the actual Bengals. So it all kind of makes sense with the AFC North. So again, if I'm wrong in that quote, if I'm wrong with what I just said, tell me in the comments, because y'all been telling me all week. Just like how. Go ahead.
And real quick, also, the real question is this though. Here's the real question, I think. when will they pay Jamar? So, like, let's say we all agree they will pay him. The question is when, though? Because are you going to do what I did last year with Jamar, or do what the Cowboys did, linger it, and then other receivers gonna get paid? Boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, T. Higgins' price goes up, and then it just throws off the flow of the offense. So the sooner the better. And the fact that you just said, Dave, that he hasn't paid Jamar yet, it's like, what you doing, bro? You should have had a contract ready as soon as the season was over.
Exactly.
It was over. After I would have seen the Cowboys muff the punt. Pick up your contract, man. We still got a chance. Like, that's a lot. But I'm just saying. If you still got a chance to make the playoffs, that's when you got to play it. You got to pay him. But we're going from one franchise who's trying to figure out what they're going to do to another franchise who's saying what else they're going to say about us now. Because we really, the mission's accomplished in some people's eyes as far as winning the Super Bowl. Now, this fan base here, if you're in the NFL chat, you only got to be in the NFL chat. If you know an Eagles fan, you already know what time it is, and you know we about to go with this. Acho had a lot to say about a certain other franchise in the NFC East, and then Nolan Smith took to Twitter and replied to it. But we're going to listen to what Acho had to say before I tell you what Nolan Smith reacted to.
I was watching Dave the whole time.
Now, once this came out, Nolan Smith said, bro, you got to be top two. He meant to say haters, but he put, bro, you got to be top two hates and not two. It doesn't cost nothing to show love and say them boys did their thing. So when you first see the tweet, you're like, okay. But one thing I will say is, Acho, some people say I favor Kyrie, but one thing I would say is, well, maybe if I was 6 feet and I played in the NBA and then I had millions of dollars and I had tattoos, you could say that. But I'm not. So at the end of the day, Nolan Smith, was he out of line? I'm going to say he wasn't out of line because, again, I can't tell him how he reacted to or what his perception of that video was, but I'm going to tell you what my perception of that video was. If you as an Eagles fan took that as a slight, then I don't know what you were listening to, because I heard him say nothing but bad things about the Dallas Cowboys and saying they're one all season away from getting a Super Bowl offensive line, getting a Super Bowl tight end, getting a Super Bowl wide receiver. Then he talked about the cornerbacks. If you need all of these things, we all know one all season isn't going to fix this. So why would you even be in an uproar to say that he was actually hating on your team? Unless you were looking at it on the flip side and saying, you're thinking my job is easy. But then you had the guy with the red jacket stop him and say, wait. So we just going to say, is that easy? And then as Acho was saying all these things that the Cowboys need, note that this guy in the red jacket was the first to say the quarterback. And then Acho was like, cornerbacks? Because he really wanted to say, well, they need a quarterback as well to win the Super Bowl. And we all know what the guy with the red jacket has to say about Dallas Cowboys quarterbacks. So do I think Nolan Smith was out of line? He may have jumped the gun because of what he heard, or maybe somebody just told him. Maybe he didn't watch the full clip. He just heard one off season away and went and reacted to that. But off that clip, I felt like he was more disrespectful to the Dallas Cowboys than anything. So Nolan, you got a ring. Don't be so salty, man. Y'all did y'all thing out there. Joe? You on mute.
Okay. All right, man. Let's brace ourselves real quick. All right, so, Acho. First, Nolan Smith. I want to say shout out to you because year one, you got drafted late in the first round and you didn't really get your opportunities, right? And then this year, he got his opportunity, especially in the playoffs. He had 4 sacks. I think he forced a fumble. He had some key plays also down the stretch and into the regular season, right? So he had some big moments in this Eagles run. But I don't think Acho was hating. All right. I don't think Acho was hating on the Eagles. He has been giving the Eagles a lot of credit. Since the Eagles got to the Super Bowl, he been really high on the Eagles, especially Jalen Hurts. He's been saying all this stuff. He said Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback. He trusts Jalen Hurts more than any other quarterback in the NFC. He mentioned that. He talked about the Eagles, this and that. Eagles should be the favorite, not the Lions. So he's been on the Eagles side all year. And the segment was about the Cowboys at the end of the day. If anything, I don't think he was dissing the Cowboys. Acho got this thing where he just say a lot. to try to get something across, right? And that was one of the moments when he just said a bunch, you know. And I think as he was saying it, he was like, dang, I'm saying a lot. Like, this is a lot they got to do to get to the Eagles. All right. But, Tom, don't be mad at me, man. All right. So.
Go ahead. You got the big screen. Go ahead. Now I'm mad.
Okay. All right. All right. So, all these moves he's saying the Cowboys have to do. This didn't happen in just one offseason. Let's stop saying that. I get it. They got the two rookies. They got Zach Bond and they got Saquon. And they got an offensive lineman. But they've been had Smitty. Right? They've been had Dallas Goedert. They've been had in a terrific offensive line. They've been had Jalen Carter. They've been had Jordan Davis. Right? So they had pieces on their they've been had Slay. They've been had pieces on their team before this offseason. This been building over offseason. But here's a big difference between the Eagles and the Cowboys when it comes to Super Bowl. Now, Super Bowl is different from NBA because it's only one game. I mean, Brock Purdy made the Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo made it to the Super Bowl. So I do agree with Acho in some bit if you know, because I know, like, all right, Shady try to throw in Dak, right? Do I think Dak could get this team to the Super Bowl? Yes. You know what I mean? Because the defense was incredible. It was incredible. All Dak had to do, I mean, it was incredible. If he had Saquon Barkley, it's incredible. But I also understand LaShawn McCoy when he don't really believe they can get there with Dak. Because Dak have shown in multiple games to just fold, bro. Like, he just has. You know, both times against the 49ers, he didn't show up. You know, the last two playoff games he lost. He did show up against Tom Brady. I always go back to the year before that he was healthy against the Eagles when he didn't play well. You know, he got played by Carson Wentz when they had all those injuries. So I get where LaShawn McCoy is coming from when he says that the Cowboys aren't off season away because their quarterback is Dak Prescott. And that's why when me and Tomo had that segment, when Dak Prescott said what he said, I said I like what he said because he's been one of the main reasons why they can't get by. And I feel like him saying that is that he gotta take responsibility and he gotta be better. Because if Dak Prescott is better, because Jerry has built good teams around Dak. I thought that Brock Purdy's first year, when they beat y'all, when y'all beat the Buccaneers and the 49ers beat y'all were good enough that year to beat the 49ers. This Dak didn't do his part. That defense did terrific. They held the 49ers to 19 points the whole game. 19 points. You know, and with that 2 turnovers, they still lost 19-13, I think. 19-4, 19-13, 19. It was a one possession game.
Yeah, it was 19-13.
19-13, one possession game. So that one thing I can't say about Jalen Hurts.
And that was with Jimmy G, not Brock Purdy.
1913?
No,
that was Brock.
That was
no, you're right. That was Jimmy G. You're right. That was Jimmy
G. Brock was the Eagles.
You're right. That was Jimmy G.
Yeah. Brock played the Eagles.
Dang. That was Jimmy G. Oh, we got Super
All right, Joe. Coming from dang, that was Jimmy G. You still had a chance. You know.
All right, let's get this super chat in real quick. All right. Whoa, nice. Dang, y'all been a minute. Shout out to TYP for being a member for 19 months. Co-host of In the Red Corner with my boy Tomo. All right. Shout out to the superstar member also. Shout out to the best sports network, especially the best network. Forget sports. Shout out to the best network. Breaking news: Kid Austin. Come on, bro.
I ain't gonna say nothing. Go ahead.
Kid Austin is ill, so the Secure fight. Was it a scratch on his face? I'm fine. Secure fight is canceled. Watch In the Red Corner tomorrow live for more. And a surprise. Hashtag RRC the MVP. Oh! Yo, that just made me mad. I was looking forward to that fight. All right, anyways. Go ahead, Tomo. I know you got something first, but I'm going to go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I'm about to say Dave.
Was Nolan Smith out of line?
Oh, was he out of line? Yes, he was.
Oh,
Sorry,
I'm about to
go
say.
ahead. He was. He was out of line. My bad. Go ahead, Dave.
Just like Joe said, yes, he was out of line. I don't know what he was listening to. I don't know. Maybe it's because when he said linebacker, he mentioned Zach Bond, and he was like, "Wait, I was here last year. What you mean?" So that could be it right there. But let's be honest, Nolan Smith, you did not have what they would consider a good year last year. The whole defense didn't have a good year last year. The defense was ranked bottom 25 in the league. They was probably 30th, 31st, 32nd. It was one of the worst defenses in the league last year. And yes, you won 11 games last year. You were 11-7. You made it to the playoffs, but then you got bounced in the first game. AJ Brown wasn't there, and the defense was putrid. Let's just be honest about it. And one of the weakest things that the defense had was the linebacker crew. And this is one thing that even some of your Eagles fans that are in our NFL chat can admit to, because they've said it before. Kev has said it himself that the linebacker crew was probably the weakest thing on the defense, and I believe AJ has said it as well. This isn't something that's new. The linebacker crew for the Eagles was not good last year. It wasn't. Let's just be honest about it. They had some good pass rushes, don't get me wrong, but the defense overall did not play well. Bradbury was cranberry juice. He was last. He was getting burnt. He was getting killed. Slay was still Slay, but he was getting cooked on in a few games. He got cooked when he played against the 49ers. He got cooked against Jettis last year. He was getting burnt last year. This year, everything had changed. Linebacker crew got better. Zach Bond had came in and made plays where a lot of people didn't think it was possible for Zach Bond. You got Owen Burks, who was actually with the 49ers last year. He did not look good last year. He played a lot better this year with the Philadelphia Eagles. That completes your linebacker crew. And Nolan Smith, you stepped up this year. You played a lot better this year. Now, one thing that we knew it was good was your defensive line, because you had Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. We know that the defensive line was going to be fine. And you still had Brandon Graham. So you still had another pass rusher out there. Yes, I know you lost one, but he ain't do nothing when he went to the Jets. He went through a whole lot this offseason. We don't know what's going on with him, but Hassan Reddick is with the Jets now. You don't got to worry about that. You drafted 2 rookie cornerbacks back to back. You drafted Quinyon Mitchell in the first round, and you drafted Cooper DeJean in the second round. A lot of people were saying that Cooper DeJean should have been a safety, or just, that's all he could do. But he came in and played corner and played really well as a rookie corner this year. Got a Super Bowl interception, turned into a touchdown on his birthday. Quinyon Mitchell has been one of the best cornerbacks in the league this year, not just as a rookie, but one of the best cornerbacks in the league this year, because he allowed maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns all season, maybe.
Scary Terry.
Scary
I ain't
Terry's
on mute.
one.
My bad. I thought I was on mute.
I mean, he got TD.
That's the kind of offseason that the Cowboys have to have. And guess what? This is what Joe said in the NFL chat. That's not one offseason. That's off seasons. So it's going to take a while for that to happen. It's not going to happen in one offseason. Now, it's possible because the Cowboys can figure out a way to make some money, make some trades to do something. But what's one of the things that's bad about the Cowboys right now? Defensive line still hasn't been necessarily what it needs to be. And yes, you could say maybe they have Super Bowl caliber cornerbacks. I think they have one Super Bowl caliber cornerback, and that's Trayvon Diggs. I'm still questioning about Deron Bland, because we saw what happened when he had all his interceptions. He also got burnt a lot. So we gotta hold that a little bit. Then when you look at everything else when it comes to this team, they don't have a number 2 wide receiver. They don't necessarily have a solidified running back. The offensive line is good. Don't get me wrong. The offensive line has been good for a while. But the offensive line is still kind of sort of getting old, so you might want to address that a little bit. Tight end, Jake Ferguson, calling him a Super Bowl caliber tight end, I think that's a little far-fetched. It's a little far-fetched to call him Super Bowl caliber tight end. He's a good tight end, don't get me wrong, but Super Bowl caliber is a little too far. He hasn't proven that yet to be a Super Bowl caliber tight end. But if you look at the Cowboys other than this year, they've won what? 12, 13 games the last 2-3 years?
12.
So are they really that far off? I wouldn't say that they're that far off, but that's the regular season. Playoffs, totally different. They are far off when it comes to the playoffs. Let's just be honest about it.
They far.
Let's just be honest about it. They are far off when it comes to the playoffs. It's regular season, they are right there. Right there. Because they're right there with the 49ers. They're right there with the Lions. All the other teams in the NFC that have been there competing in the NFC Championship game over the last few seasons, they're right there with them in the regular season. Playoffs is when things change. That's the only thing. So there's still a lot of questions that the Cowboys have to answer. And Jerry Jones is the one that's answering those questions. Now, is he going to have an offseason where he signs and trades and drafts guys that's necessary? When have we necessarily seen that consistently with Jerry Jones? We have not seen that consistently with Jerry Jones. At least the last 2 years, we haven't seen that consistently. Now, he did draft Micah Parsons, which is a key thing, but Micah Parsons goes missing in the second half of the season. He does it almost all the time. Trayvon Diggs got hurt, and he was still pretty much injured last year. So that's something that he had to recover from. Like I said, the defensive line is not where it needs to be. So they still have a lot of things that they need to change. And then they lost coordinators. We don't know who their head coach really is. I mean, we know who he is, but we don't know what to expect from him. So are they far off playoff-wise and Super Bowl caliber-wise? Yes. But regular season-wise, no. They're not that far off.
Oh, Dave, I want to say one thing. It was Brock Purdy.
That was Purdy?
That was Purdy. I went back and looked. I remember
That was.
That's why a lot of people killed that because they was like, bro, they held CMC to under 100 yards.
Yeah.
I had to remember it was.
They beat the Seahawks first.
Yeah.
And then they played Dallas. And it was supposed to be Dallas against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, that was that one up.
You're right.
I'll tell you, bro, like that's the big difference to me is the I mean, I'm still like looking at that like, yo, I need you to show me something. I'm like we had a.
But that was I got think that's not to cut you off. That's why I had an argument of him being all pro last season. Because I'm like, okay, he all pro because he got the stats and he beat bad teams. Brock Purdy beat good teams and he also had the stats to go with it too.
He was second team. All pro.
It doesn't matter. He was all pro.
That means a lot because if you say all pro, they're gonna think you mean first team, and that means he was way better than everybody.
Whether they don't say second team all pro hurts, they say all pro.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm just letting you know, man.
That was my argument last year about him being AP over Brock Purdy because I feel like Brock Purdy had a really good season and he was beating good teams. So,
but you know why they did that though? Because that was the CMC effect.
I know.
There we go. I'm glad we agreed here, fellas. He was overreacting. Be ready in the comments.
He definitely overreacted. I don't know what he was listening to, but his ears must have been bleeding because he heard everything wrong.
I mean, you know, it's been happening all week with the Eagles. You got to think. A lady came out and said it though, and I was glad she said it. No, not a lady. Don Staley said it. She was like, "We've been losing for so long that we got to celebrate for them L's that we took. So this is why we act in the way we act." And I was like, you know what? Touche. I give you that.
So Tomo, you weren't mad at my comments about that? I feel like
I could go back and forth about it, but not like you said, wrong time. We'll do it another day. I can't defend him right now. Not right now. He played bad last year. It is what it is.
I was like, dang, I read my notes. I'm like, Tom, we mad at me when I say this.
Nah, some of the things is on point. Like he got to step up. He has to step up, and he knows that. Now I can come on here and defend some of the things that he didn't have that other quarterbacks had in those playoff games. But again, you got to step up. You know, throw an interception and your defense get you the ball back. It would be nice. It would be nice.
Nah, for real. Like that's why context matter.
Yeah. But I like another thing that Kev said too. We need to set the precedent. R2L needs to set the precedent.
That's something that needed to be said in earlier because I didn't think that my opinion mattered, but apparently it did. I needed to say something.
Oh yeah, nah, that was one.
Hey, I do have one before we go to the Dave Doghouse. I do have one quick question for y'all. There was some news that came out for Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp potentially being traded to the Steelers. How y'all feel about that?
That would help the Steelers a lot. I think that would help the Steelers a lot. I think that will put them in a position to win a playoff game and get further. I think so. I think that would be a huge difference for them because you give you give the Steelers a quarterback who's solidified and someone who still got it, someone who a lot of people are not going to question. If you look at Russell Wilson, even though he had a pretty good season with the Broncos the season before, they still question him this year, and rightfully so, because if you look at how the season ended this year, it did not go the way that it needed to for the Steelers. And then you also give them another weapon in Cooper Kupp. So if you got Pickens and Cooper Kupp there, that helps them their offense a lot more because you got a quarterback that can deliver it to whoever. And I guarantee you this. George Pickens ain't gonna complain about not getting the ball thrown his way. He's not gonna complain about targets because Matthew Stafford is gonna make sure he feeds him the ball, plain and simple. And then along with Cooper Kupp, Cooper Kupp is solidified in this league. As long as he's healthy, we know he's going to make a difference for the Steelers. So we see that coming. But the thing is, what's going to happen with Najee? Is Najee going to still be on the team? Because a lot of people are saying that he might go somewhere else because he might not even get a contract to come back. So I don't know. They don't even know what his value is in the free agent market. Because is his value up there with Josh Jacobs? No. Is it up there with Saquon and Derrick Henry? Of course not. Definitely not that. But is it even up there with Joe Mixon? I think Joe Mixon had a better year than he did last season. So now he's been consistently 1,000 yards a season, but it's 17 games that you play and you only get 1,000 yards in 17 game season.
Rico Dowdle got 1,000 yards. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying he got to do a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
He got to do more.
I agree with what you're saying. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You good. That was it.
I will say this though. We've been having this conversation, and I feel like we sparked this conversation amongst the internet as far as where Mike Tomlin resides in top 5, top 10 coaches. You make a trade like this, and you end up with the same results. I think a lot of people need to come on in and apologize to Dave. That's all I'm saying. Because if you end up with a quarterback who's definitely going to throw the ball, you already know who's going to be your quarterback going into the regular season. I think that was one of the things that was the issue with the Steelers too, is the fact that they didn't know if it was going to be Wilson or Fields. They kept playing the field, and then ended up with this. So now, if you understand, you got a top 10 quarterback with a top 10 wide receiver who you are pairing up with another wide receiver who's now going to get open because you can't double team Pickens like that with Coop out there. You go find you a serviceable running back in the draft. You already know what your defense is. All I'm saying is there's no more excuses for you, Mike T. You have to win. You have to win in the playoffs. I would say the same smoke that people have for Dak Prescott in the playoffs, they need to have for Mike Tomlin in the playoffs at this point. Because it's like the running meme is you get past 9 wins and now you on cruise control. And it's been happening every year. Yes, you have been consistent. However, you haven't been consistent in the playoffs. So I think this is why this network is great. But again, I agree with Kev. We need to start setting precedents on how we rank these quarterbacks and these coaches, and then we deliver it from there because a lot of people have been skating by.
He's been consistent, just consistently losing in the playoffs. That's all.
Yo. They would be the perfect pair. Imagine him and Dak together. Oh my goodness.
Him and Dak?
They might win a Super Bowl because somebody got to balance it out. 2 negatives, something positive got to happen.
Oh, I think he would. I think he for sure wins a playoff game with Dak. Because over Russ and Justin, yeah, I think he wins a playoff game with Dak. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
All right, let's get it.
So Joe, how you feel?
I mean, it would be good for the Steelers. I see what the Rams are doing. The Rams are trying to be a year ahead because Matthew Stafford was about to retire this year, and he decided that he's going to stay. So, and then Sean McVay, remember a couple of years ago, I think he won a Super Bowl. He was thinking about retiring himself.
Yeah.
So that's
pretty young to be retiring though.
Yeah, he is. But I mean, I feel him though.
That run was crazy. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pull Aaron Donald. We just gonna go out while we on top.
Mm-hmm.
He got his bread, got his ring, he got his respect. So
Aaron Donald will go down as one of the greatest football players ever.
Facts.
Yes, that's facts.
And now Jalen Carter trying to come for your spot, man. Philly. See, Joe, we gotta deal with that, man. We gotta deal with that.
Jane Carter, he a dog. I ain't gonna lie.
He definitely is.
Georgia Bulldog.
For real, he a beast though. I ain't gonna lie. He like that.
Bro, I told y'all early in the season, he makes the difference. When he play, their defense is way better. When he don't play, their defense is decent.
He be slapping dudes, he don't get no flag. I'm like, dang. He slapped my home, slapped he slapped my offensive lineman. He get no flag with that. Literally slapped him. He got injured. I'm like, dang.
He like Trent Williams.
Man playing like Mean Joe Green back in the day. Slapping.
I'm like, dang, got hurt off that. Jeez.
Man, I think he Charles Haley out there just slapping people.
Now those are some wild stories.
Hey,
Dave, our franchises, man, we gotta do a members only about that, man. We done shared some players, man, and won some rings, man.
We do, man. It's crazy. Charles Haley, Brian.
The good old days, I feel y'all.
Yeah, you know, like 1991 all over again. Let's talk about the doghouse.
No, right?
Dave, if you don't know, you see it at the top. Instagram, Dave's Doghouse. Make sure y'all follow my brother. Make sure y'all subscribe to the show. We're going to give y'all a snippet of what Dave delivers on his show, Dave's Doghouse. And I'll let you have the platform.
Yes, yes. Look, now there hasn't been a lot of, real game action that have gone on lately. Yes, there's been some college basketball that's gone on, and you'll hear something about that tonight. But we did just have the NBA All-Star Weekend that just happened, right? And, some things that transpired, some, players got a chance to play in the NBA All-Star game for the very first time. But there's still some people that were sitting out that deserve to be there. And Sunday, something just changed. I'm not sure if some random mystery injuries had happened or what, but we had a couple of players that all of a sudden Sunday comes and they're not playing. Now, some people may say, maybe something happened during practice, something like that. Well, LeBron James didn't practice. He didn't practice. And I mentioned his name for a specific reason. Because he, along with another person, will be put in the doghouse today. And that other person is Anthony Davis. Anthony Edwards. My apologies. Because there was a tweet that went out. Shout out to Shot Coverage. There was a tweet that went out that said LeBron James will be missing the All-Star game due to an ankle injury.
LeBron James.
And then Anthony Edwards said that he was also injured where he was nursing, I think it was a hamstring injury or something like that, or a knee injury. I'm not sure what it was. But both of them did not play, and they didn't announce it until the night of the game, the day of the game, and now they're saying that they're not going to play. Joe, wasn't there somebody on your team that deserved the spot that could have played since LeBron James, decided that he wasn't going to play? And let's be honest about this. He didn't just find out about that injury on that day. He could have announced this a while ago when they said that he wasn't going to practice. He could have said, you know what, I'm not going to play. That would have given Domantas Sabonis the ability to be in the All-Star game for the first time in his NBA career. And Sabonis is a double-double monster. We know what his production is in the NBA right now. And there's another person who is a guard, just like Anthony Edwards, that also would have had an opportunity to play in an All-Star game, and that's Norman Powell. You got two players that would have had the opportunity to play in the All-Star game, and these two guys who are stars just held a spot for these guys, and they're not even going to play. Anthony Davis knew he was hurt. We know he out indefinitely, so he was like, yeah, I'm out. I'm not going to play. They replaced him immediately. Giannis is hurt. They replaced him immediately. What's so different about LeBron James and Anthony Edwards? They get to be there at the All-Star Weekend, enjoy all the fun as far as and even taking photos. And LeBron James taking photos in the same picture you see right here. He wasn't even in the NBA All-Star uniform. He messing up opportunities for other people that could have been there. And he's sitting on the sideline, joking around, having fun. I mean, I get it. You're LeBron James. You could do that without being on the roster. Anthony Edwards, you can enjoy all of this without being on the roster. You're holding a roster spot for someone else that has an opportunity to play in the game, an opportunity to play and an opportunity to play there, for the first time. We've never seen Norman Powell there before. We've never seen DeMontis Sabonis in the All-Star game before. Now, there's some guys that got their first-time opportunities. You got Jalen Williams, J-Dub from OKC. He up in there. You got Tyler Hero from the Miami Heat. He up in there. But as soon as Giannis got hurt, who did they go get? They went and got Trae Young.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who deserved to be in the All-Star game. So the same thing should have happened for these guys. LeBron James, we hold you to a high standard. People call you the GOAT. I don't, but people call you the GOAT. Anthony Edwards, some people are calling you one of the faces of the league. If you're the face of the league, or one of the new faces of the league, and LeBron James, you are still the face of the league. You're still LeBron James. You're still the most global player in the league. Give that opportunity to someone else who deserves it. Don't sit there and enjoy the time being there with everyone else, and all of a sudden now that the game comes, I'm not going to be playing. But you're getting all this TV time, people talking about you playing and all that, and this entire time you're not going to play. So that's my thoughts. What's your thoughts on that?
What about the kids, LeBron? What about the kids, man? Y'all let the kids down.
See, I don't have an issue with them playing because LeBron James, I don't know about Anthony Edwards' story, but I know LeBron James, he did try to play, and then that morning he said that it didn't feel right. My problem with LeBron and Anthony Edwards, I don't really care about the reserves and all that stuff. My problem with them is, I don't know about Anthony Edwards. I didn't see him at all. He was in the team photo, right? He's in the team photo? Okay. But he had
though they said the same thing. He was like a groin or something. I think they said
he had a groin injury.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I know he mentioned like going to the break that he was hopeful that he can play. My problem with LeBron James is look, do what Giannis did. Giannis dressed up. You know what I mean? He act like he was gonna play. He was gonna, you know what I mean? He was like he was part of the team. He just wasn't playing. He was hurt. And then I think last All-Star game, the All-Star game before last, LeBron was hurt, but he just went in for a few minutes and he came out. I feel like you can do that. It's an All-Star game. Just go in, check in, shoot a three, or pass the ball and get out. like literally, but be a part of the environment. The fact that he took the team photo in this outfit, I was like, dang. Like, come on, bro. Like, what kind of example you said, man? I get it. He gets privileged because he's been around for 20 plus years. He's one of the GOATs. Well, there's only one GOAT, but he is one of the best players in NBA history. Some people consider him as a GOAT. But at the end of the day, bro, like I'm the type of person, no matter what your status is, you're still one of the guys. You treat it like you're one of the guys. You know what I mean? And I felt like he could at least put a jersey on. Like, come on, man. But I'm not really upset with him not playing. Cause I think he tried to play. I ain't gonna lie. My first thought was, is he ducking the right? like I know, I know he don't want to play hard. He gonna have to play hard because he's youngest. Is he ducking? So, cause it came on the day of. So that's my only issue is that do what Giannis did, dress up and be part of the team.
My 2 cents is I agree with everything that both my brothers just said here. My 2 cents is, and then they wonder why people don't take the All-Star weekend serious. And then Draymond sitting up here telling us, I had to work hard to be an All-Star. Y'all just letting these guys come up here and play with us because y'all don't take the game serious. They actually do. I'd rather watch them.
Should put him in there, Dave. For making them comments.
Tune in today's Doghouse tomorrow. That's all I gotta say.
Actually, Ed, could you put Taylor Rooks in the yard? She's making everybody actually ball out. Like, she the motivation to keep everybody playing.
Man, I might have to make that exception. I might have to.
Speaking of ladies,
There you go.
Yep. Speaking of the ladies, shout out to the ladies. Shout out to this historic basketball team, one of the best basketball teams in women's college basketball. They did something that I had no clue was going to happen. Not saying that they're not great, because I just told you how great they are. It's a team that definitely had the opportunity to win a championship within the last few seasons, and they have their one of their best players is considered their best player is considered to be the number one overall pick in the WNBA draft next season. And their head coach is, I mean, he's one of the best head coaches ever in college basketball. Not just men, not just women, but period. Let me tell you something. The Yukon Huskies women. The reason why I'm talking about them today, because they absolutely destroyed South Carolina. They were up by 22 points at halftime against South Carolina. This is against Dawn Staley in South Carolina. Y'all know the video that has the most views on Dave's Doghouse is Dawn Staley in South Carolina. They got destroyed by UConn. Like I'm saying, 87-58. That was the score. They almost lost by 30. They got beat by 29 points at home. And they were getting strapped all game long. Paige had a game, of course. I mean, what you expect? It's Paige Beckers. And that's who I was talking about. Paige Beckers is one of the best players in college basketball. You hear about Paige Beckers, you hear about Juju Watkins, Olivia Miles, Hannah Hidalgo, and Tanaya Latson, who a lot of people don't talk about, but she plays for Florida State. She's a baller. But Paige Beckers had a pretty good game. She had 12, 10, and 7. But the team just they've been on a really good run lately. Winning 4 of their last 5 games. The one game they lost was against Tennessee, which is another good team in college basketball. We know what Tennessee used to be when Candace Parker and all the other ladies were on that team. But this team UConn is really good. They're really good, and they deserve to be dogs right now because they just dominated one of the best teams in college basketball, and that was not expected because UConn has been, they've been dominating teams. They just beat St. John's right before they beat South Carolina. They beat them by 38. So we know that what they're going to do against bad teams. They beat Providence by 37. So I get that, but you go up against one of the best teams and almost beat them by 30. Then yeah, you got to put them as dogs. It's a husky. A husky is a bigger version of a dog. So there you go. There you go, man. I mean, it's not much I really need to say about UConn. Just that you might want to watch out for them being in the championship talks for this season. You got UCLA, who was really good, but you saw what Juju Watkins did to them. Juju Watkins just put up 28 against them and cooked them. So you got them. You got USC. There's some really good basketball teams out there, but I just had to bring up UConn because UConn just that was a dominating game against one of the best teams. And I believe South Carolina was ranked 4th at that time, and UConn was ranked 9th during that time. Then they jumped up to 5, and now South Carolina 6. They got a game tomorrow against Seton Hall, and I'm telling you, they're gonna win that game. Let's just be honest about it.
See, one thing about UConn, first of all, Paige back in there. I mean, we talking about Kaden Clark. I mean, watch out for Paige back in there. But Juju the one, y'all. And she's the one. I know we're not talking about USC right now. But you look at that one-on-one league with the women's basketball, most of those players that made it made it far in that league came from UConn. So UConn is a foundation of women's basketball. A lot of great players came to there. So I'm not surprised, Dave. But well deserved for them being a dog. I mean, being in the yard. Potato works.
I would say no pun, the husky being a dog. But no, that is funny though that you say that, Joe. I look back and think about it. I was like, man, AE. And I ain't talking Anthony Edwards. I'm talking about Aaliyah Edwards. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Mystics got them one.
There you go. There you go.
I'm just saying.
There you
She made
go.
it to the finals, man.
AE ain't got, she ain't get swept. She got a dub, but she lost the whole thing. But hey, don't matter. Hey, we know. Come on, it's Feast. Feast is a baller. We all know that. So
yeah, I was rooting for her. I was like, if you can get 2, just get 2.
Hey, but she cooked Breonna Stewart. She beat her 12-0. She cooked her. Got her up off the court.
Barbecue chicken alert.
They need to switch it up, like make it fair. They be having like the guards going against the bigs. Like,
if you win, that's king of the court style.
True.
Gotta make it happen.
All right, let's get it, man.
Shout out to Dave, man. Shout out to Dave in the doghouse.
Yes, sir.
From one segment to the next. Lock them in, fellas.
Look at me.
We don't got days right now. We're gonna get days. Check out Instagram, YouTube Shorts. All right.
So, for those that don't know, the R2L Lock 'em In is where we go in, we pick a sport amongst the three hosts here, and we give you all the spread and why we pick them to win. Sometimes we just give you the spread and tell you, hey, this is the team you want to add to your parlay. But we also want to let you all know today, and we let you all know every time we do this, this is our opinion. And you can clearly see by my record, this is really my opinion. So I'm still trying to catch up. But again, this is our opinion. So when we tell you these things, use this money to come back and become a member. Even if you lose, still become a member, because we got a parlay chat that you could be a part of if you're a superstar member for $9.99. So with that being said, Dave, you just talked, but you are the mystery man. Which team did you go with?
So
okay.
I'll tell you who I went with, and I'll tell you why. I got reasons why this time. So I went with Nebraska over Penn State.
Okay.
Overall, Nebraska is 15-11. They're 9-4 on the road. As a favorite, they're 10-7. But as a favorite on the road, and the location and status, they're 5-0. So I'm going with history. And when the spread is minus 3.5 to +1, they're 3-1. So
what's the point spread on that?
It's minus 1.5.
Oh, 1.5. All right.
Yeah, minus 1.5.
I'm going with Alabama. 1.5 favorites over Missouri. Shout out to Alabama.
That's
I don't have a reason. I'm 2-0. Let's take that. For a reason. By the way, if you would have took all three of our picks last week, 10 would have turned into 70. 100 would have turned into 700. Let's want to know. So even with the 1-1 record, you would have been positive.
There you go.
Look at that. And I'm gonna keep it positive because we got Juju going up against MSU. Now, Joe, I know you cracked the joke and said I'm going against them, but hey, y'all had me on pins and needles last week with the men's basketball game, but y'all won it. So shout out to MSU for doing what they needed to do. But when you're going up against Juju, I'm taking the +6. You know what I'm saying? The +6.5. So shout out to the ladies and Juju, make it happen for me. I think I'm gonna be 2-1 after this week.
That's good. You gotta see lady. Don't pick the men's. Ladies.
Lady. I'm glad you put that up there.
It clearly says lady.
Exactly. Ladies. So this is for the tomorrow games, y'all. Make sure you guys tune in. All right. So my last word, shout out to the whole R2L network. Shout out to the whole R2L family and our community. Shout out to y'all too, Dave and Tomo. My partners in crime. Partners in shine, I should say. All right. Shout out to the 1,500 subscribers.
I ain't trying to go to jail.
Shout out to the 1,500 subscribers. It's a crime. I guess it's a crime with getting paid for doing what you love, right? I guess. I don't know. All right. But shout out to YouTube. But shout out to the 1,500 subscribers. Anybody that contributed as a viewer, as a subscriber, as a liker, as a disliker. If you dislike the comment, I don't know. As long as you tuned in, I was happy. All right. So appreciate y'all. All the haters too. We appreciate y'all too. Shout out to everybody. I said in the network. Commanders, man, all season is wrapping up. NFL draft is almost close, right? It's in April, right? Almost like about 2 months away, less than 2 months away. Let's hit in the draft, AP. We know what we gotta do. I know we motivated. address that. I didn't want to pay T. Higgins, y'all. I'm not one of them guys that say go get T. Higgins. I'm not that guy. I'd rather drive the receiver versus pay a receiver. All right, pay the O line, pay the D line. Go drive the receiver though, if you need a receiver. All right. And the Kings, man, we got a tough schedule, y'all, coming up. That's all I'm gonna say. Friday episode, I'm gonna read out my last words. I'm gonna read out the schedule for the whole month. Y'all gonna be like, dang, y'all gonna make the playoffs? It's crazy. I'm gonna do it on Friday though, and that's all I gotta say. Shout out to the whole network once again. Oh yeah, shout out to the network. Right now, in the red corner is ahead, as y'all can probably tell by the numbers. I'll send it to the whole group. Ty, Funnies, and the What's Up group. But shout out to in the red corner. Hey, Dave, I see you creeping. And RBO, I see you creeping too.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there in second place, back where I belong. Of course. You know, I've always said I'm the second best show outside of until further notice. Yeah, till further notice, of course. Because like I said, I'm the most I have the most versatile show and the most unique show out of everyone else. But shout out to In the Red Corner because they have been MVP since we've started doing this, so they deserve all the praises they've gotten. Make sure you tune in if you want to watch a great boxing show. Like you said, they're going to be live tomorrow, so go watch it because it's going to be electric. Shakur Stevenson going to have to find someone else to fight because Kid Austin is out. That's going to be interesting. Oh,
who's a filler?
I said I got a pillow.
Oh, they say a filler.
Let me stop before he try to fight me. Then that might help us.
Exactly. There you go. It might.
It do cause the ding. How about the ring, bro?
There you go. There you go. Hey, you entered the ring. You get paid as soon as you enter the ring. There you go.
I'm here for the subscribers.
There you go.
I love you. You go turn around real slow.
Like
shout out to all the other channels, the Prado Network, RBO, FFC, BWT, CTC. You get all these nicknames for all these shows, man. But shout out to Unfazed as well. That's the other show on the network. So all great shows, man.
30 minutes.
And shout out to Shot Coverage. Thank you for allowing me to be able to use your tweet to talk about what I had to talk about today. So appreciate you for being able to do that. And season 2, Dave's Doghouse starts. So can't wait to see what y'all going to see when I'm talking about nothing but basketball. If you got somebody in the NBA or college basketball men and women that you think I should talk about, that's where you'll find me on Instagram. So you let me know who you have. If not, then oh well, they won't be talked about. I'm sorry. You better hope that I have an idea or I may talk about somebody that you think needs to be talked about. But anyone outside of basketball will not be talked about unless it's on the R2L show. So, got to give it to basketball. Basketball was playing right now, so that's what it is. Baseball starts up soon. Hockey had a great look. How was the hockey All-Star weekend or Four Nations? How was that much more electric than the NBA All-Star weekend?
Didn't they start fighting?
They fight. Hockey's always electric.
But
fighting.
I don't know, man. That's why I ain't talk about the All-Star weekend as being on the doghouse because they already there. They ain't no point in them coming out no time soon.
Oh yeah, dang. Longest 10-year dog.
And it's gonna be another year again. It's gonna be another year again. But no, I appreciate y'all for watching, and definitely can't wait to talk more about it on the next Dave's Doghouse. We got some news about SGA that just happened.
Oh, tell us. Yeah, I'll my last words.
Oklahoma City Thunder superstar MVP frontrunner Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has parted ways with his representation to make the bold move of serving as his own agent.
Trying to make his own bread.
Come
on, he's trying to condense the what you call that? Capital gains. He's trying to get more capital gains.
And as you can see, I'm giving you news here first before you hear it on ESPN or Bleacher Report. So look, if you want to know about something that's happening in sports world, come to R2L.
That is.
Hey, sound like Death Row. All right, my last words is make sure y'all stick around for Unfazed. And I really just want to say this, AJ. I know you probably preparing for the show, and I'm looking at what y'all got to talk about on the show. Now, AJ, I just want you to remember, my brother, I will jump backstage and go on air if you do have something to say, okay? Just remember that. That's all I want you to know. I will jump backstage
too. I'll jump backstage too.
This will become the WWE, Joe, if it get a little too crazy. So everybody that go over there, make sure y'all check it out. Shout out to my brothers, man, JJ and AJ, man. Y'all have a great show. And everybody that tuned in, make sure y'all hit that like button, share it with someone, because I know the comments are going to be crazy with this show and theirs as well, and also all the other shows on the network, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Let's keep this positive juju going. See what I did there?
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. That's all we have for y'all today. Make sure y'all tune in Unfazed in 30 minutes. We got to talk about that Prescott. You know, they just
I will show up.
That's all we got to say. That's all that we have for y'all today. And we'll see y'all Friday at the next episode.
Here we go. Now.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.